Chapter 23, Inhale, Exhale, Inhale, Exhale, December 2002. Timmy, JJ, and I stayed up late that night smoking cigs on the back porch while Hank and Eric crashed inside. It had been a hell of a day for all of us, but for JJ especially. She learned a lot. Mainly, she learned that she'd be keeping any drugs in her boot from then on, since it was the one place the cops didn't bother checking. Timmy laughed at how I'd gotten stomped by the local police and said he was happy he hadn't missed it. I smiled and told him to go fuck himself in the ear. The next day, JJ flew home to visit her family for a couple weeks. She put in for some time before she'd come over with us, so it was fine, but we were sorry to see her go. I told her we didn't need her around too much because we'd all be away for the holidays soon enough. I told her things would be slow for a while, so take time to chill. She said she would. The end of 2002 had delivered Black Biscuit to an operational crossroads. Most of the hours we logged in December were spent discussing the direction of the case and planning our next steps, not hanging out with the Angels. We explained our absence to them with the white lie that we were traveling on club business, spending time in Mexico and SoCal, and that my Vegas connection, Big Lou, had invited me to Miami to lounge on his yacht and pinch some South Beach ass. As we took stock of our progress, we drew up a list of case positives and case negatives so we could analyze our positions and objectives. The main positive was that we'd been hugely successful in a short period of time. We'd gotten in quicker and deeper than we thought possible in a mere 6 months. The downside to this was that things were blurred. We'd move so quickly from one day to the next, sometimes covering the length of the state in a single day, over 300 miles, always in roll, that it was hard to tell what we were doing. We were drunk on danger and adrenaline. This led us to the main negative. We were running in place. We didn't need to do any more gun deals with Doug or Hank. We didn't need Bad Bob to broker any more petty drug buys. We didn't need more evidence that Smitty acted like a local gangster, or that Dennis, while no longer cooking, clearly had a fluid and consistent source of meth. I was sick of these minor deals. Slats was sick of processing them and presenting them to the suits. He wanted dealers, not users. The case was supposed to be bigger. It was bigger, we just hadn't figured out how to crack it. Our frustration led to the beginning of a division within the task force. Slats felt that we weren't leaving our comfort zone enough, and I felt that it was too early to branch out. He wanted us to be aggressive with everyone, while I wanted to solidify my positions so I could do exactly that later on. It was nothing major, just a small crack in the wall that began to dribble water. Not surprisingly, I stood tall on one side of the divide while Slats held firm to the other. I wanted to pursue the Angels' offer of membership. How often had a group of cops been given this opportunity? Not often at all. I felt we'd never get the true dirt on them as outsiders, as they could profess to trust us as solos till they were blue in the face, but it would never matter because we weren't Hell's Angels. If we wanted to take a swing at these guys, and there was no argument that that was what we all wanted, then this was my only way. My answer to breaking out of our comfort zone was to become a Hell's Angel, to give ourselves over to our adversary. I knew I was right. Slats wanted us to remain solos. He didn't care about becoming Hell's Angels. If we were to fold into their organization, our operation would become tied to the whims of the club and our sponsors. Instead of buying guns, we'd be pulling guard duty and opening beers. As solos, we could do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted, wherever we wanted. We felt that they'd ultimately deal us out of naked greed. The solos also provided them with the illusion of a scapegoat. We were a separate party on which blame could conveniently be pinned. Slats' answer to breaking out of the comfort zone was to be brasher, push harder, ask for bigger deals. Slats is expert in the criminal mindset, and he might have been right too. Neither of us budged though. Our egos were too invested in the work we'd done. He had a grand vision, and I wanted to play the hands we undercovers were being dealt. I didn't say as much, but I could feel that another reason Slats didn't want us to try to join the Angels was that he would lose his sense of control, something he'd never ever willingly relinquish. There was a third option. One of us could have, maybe even should have, suggested that we fold up right then and there. Our case was a good one. We wouldn't have decimated the Hells Angels, but we would have sent serious shockwaves through them. Our message would have been clear and effective. You are not impenetrable. You do not intimidate us, and we will not leave you alone. If we'd ended in December of 2002, we'd have a respectable case and sustained only a minimum of battle damage. But no one gave this a single fleeting thought. We didn't want a good case, we wanted a great one.